What's going on, YouTube family? It's Andrea here at VW Family Farm, and today I'm going to take y'all around and give you a garden update. The garden is looking awesome here. I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. Stuff's starting to bloom and really grow, so I'm going to take y'all around, show you that. But first off, I just want to say thank you so much for checking out Full House Homesteaders and Homestead Mama's channel that had baby Ben. And I've been watching their updates, praying for him, thinking about him. It looks like he's making some slight improvements. Maybe his oxygen is being weaned down a little bit, so that is such an answer to prayer. But keep praying for them, keep checking them out. Melissa, keep in mind, has also had an emergency C-section, and then the very next morning got in the car to go 3 hours away to the hospital the baby's in, and I don't know how much care she's receiving. I just saw an update to where she had to go down to the ER of that hospital for her asthma flaring up. So I know when I had a C-section, emergency C-section, I was in the hospital 48 hours after it was done. So I sure didn't get up the very next morning and ride in a car 3 hours. So I can't imagine what she's going through. Keep supporting them. If you want to do anything to help them out, I would say the best thing you can do is pray and support them financially if you can. If you want to send them something, go to their channel. In their descriptions of their videos is all the info. Their updates are they're telling about their GoFundMe and PayPal that's been set up. But the best way someone suggested was, if you're wanting to send them some financial support, because they are 3 hours from home, they have a large family that the rest of the kids are trying to come in today and see the baby, is maybe just send them a check rather than doing the GoFundMe or the PayPal, because then all the money is going to them. So you could just send that to their P.O. box, but however you choose to support them, even if you can't send them anything, just remember them. So let's get to the garden tour. Okay, so first I'm going to give y'all just an overview of the entire front garden. I am loving this purple lettuce, and then on down the first row I've got the sugar magnolia tendril peas, like sugar snap type peas that are blooming purple and pink too, and I am loving the color. I'm going to have to plant more things with color in the years to come. And we've got all kinds of trellises and all kinds of stuff going on. So I'm just going to give y'all the overview, and then I'm going to take you to some of my most favorite spots. So this first row is, of course, all the lettuces, cabbages, there's peas down there, there's radishes, beets and stuff like that. And then we've got the two long rows of Yukon Gold potatoes. Lane and I just sweated and slaved yesterday and hoed those out to keep the grass somewhat down. We have been in such major flooding rain lately that we can't really work the ground that well. So it's just taking a lot of hard elbow grease. We've basically, all we've been able to do is hoe around the plants, hoe the rows, and keep the grass at a minimum if we can. So that's just what we've been doing. I'm loving this row right here of tomatoes and peppers. I'm going to walk you down it, but I'm loving the ground cover. We may invest in the Real Deal ground cover next year. We've already been looking at it on Amazon, and I think Ben's got it stuck in the wish list just for the future, because we are really, really loving the ground cover. I mean, there is no weeding to it, and everything is thriving because it's not having to compete with grass. So we'll walk down that row in a minute, but that's tomatoes and peppers and stuff like that. Okay, so this row right here, I just replanted part of it. I'm liking this fence. I think it's going to be pretty when the beans grow up it. If y'all got free seeds from us back at the giveaway back in late winter, and you got beans, that's this type of beans. It's like called McCloskey or something like that. Let me look at the tag. Okay, I totally butchered that. It's McCaslin 42 pole beans. They were kind of sparse coming up, but the ones that came up are looking good. I'm hoping they're going to climb that fence good. That's just some leftover fence we had from building a goat pen. We just try to reuse things we already had. We already had all these T-posts from the fencing we did in the fall. They were just laying around, so I'm glad to get them off the ground and put to good use. Okay, this row right behind me here is all kinds of Roma beans. So green beans, that's one of our favorite types of green beans. We also love contenders, but I'm just planting this year what I had. So I've got a row of Romas. My mom and I like to both pick these, and that's what these pole beans will be too. They'll be green beans that I'll pick and snap and can. My mom and I'll pick these together and can them up for the winter. Next row is doing amazing, and it's all kinds of experimental beans, all from Baker Creek. There is a type of bush bean that's like a horticulture bean, which that's what my parents love. So that section is for them. And then on down here, I've got all kinds of cool beans that are gonna have cool colors. I've showed them to y'all before. They're like purple dove, and let's see if I can find some more tape. Look at the color on these purple dove stems, and the beans that I planted were beautiful, so I can't wait for those. And the rest of this row is red swan, which they're going to be really pretty too. So all of that row I just showed you are bush type beans, so they don't need any kind of staking or anything. I really like bush beans because they're easy to grow. I just get down there and kind of waller that bush around when it's time to pick them. They're easy to pick, but I'm kind of excited about the pole beans because I don't have to bend over. So let's head on to the next row. Okay, now this next row, it's kind of spotty, but I haven't grown corn in a few years, but I'm growing two different types of corn from Baker Creek. One of them is going to be a purple corn, like a blue corn, and then one is just going to be a good corn for grinding. I may grind them both. I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot because it's kind of sparse looking, but I'm going to leave it and get what I can. Okay, this next row right here is more tomatoes. I'm going to have to count my tomatoes. I have got an outrageous amount. They're growing like crazy. I'll be showing y'all those in the coming weeks as they start to really grow and fill out and start putting on tomatoes. There's all kinds of varieties. I've got the tomatoes from Kevin and Sarah at Living Traditions, Old Palkas, and I've got all other kinds too. I'm growing a lot of Amish paste, a lot of big slicer tomatoes, things like that for canning because I love to can. And then these last two rows are my early stuff and my onions. So I'm going to show you those real quick. Kohlrabi, look at this patch of Mizuna. This has quickly become one of my favorite salad greens. It's really beautiful, this red variety. And then I've got this greener, it's called a summer variety. And when I pick it and wash it and put it in the fridge, it just stays so crisp. I really, really like the taste of it. Easy to grow. Purple bok choy. Someone's hanging out with me while I get the garden tour. When I walk, he walks. When I stop, he stops. The rest of this is just all kinds of little bok choys and radishes, rutabagas, some more kohlrabi, and some more Mizuna. And then I actually successfully grew a few carrots. They're the Atomic Red from Baker Creek. And then, don't judge me, this is the onion row. It's actually looking pretty good. The kids and I have actually weeded it several times, but these little flowers just keep coming back. But we should have a lot of onions. And I'm super excited because they're storage onions that I can't just go buy sets of those at the local plant stand. Some of my areas that didn't come up as well, I sprinkled in a lot of zinnia seeds. That way I'll have some beautiful color down here. I can't leave this front garden without showing y'all this. This might be my favorite part of the whole garden. This is just literally T-posts and a couple cattle panels, and I stuck some sugar magnolia tendril peas in the ground, and this was the beautiful result. They look a little beaten because we've had a lot of storms, but I love the way these look. I love these flowers. And the ones that make the green peas, they have beautiful white flowers. and they're loaded. Okay, I'm gonna show you before we leave this front garden some of my tomatoes and peppers up here. I'm gonna just scan down through there and let y'all see them. I planted a bunch of ours that we sprouted, and then Jess shared some with me of her favorite varieties, and they're looking good. We had so much rain, they got kind of poor looking at first, but they're really starting to bounce back. So I'm hopeful I'm still gonna have a good harvest. Peppers are starting to look good. They're actually blooming. Okay, as we're heading around to the back garden, I thought we'd make some pit stops at the herb gardens, just show you what all we got going on in there. So this bed is full of oregano down here. There's some parsley here in the middle, sage down here that's blooming the beautiful purple. I've got some cilantro mixed in there and dill. That's a ton of lemon balm. There's all kinds of stuff in this herb bed. There's some chicory that's gotten out of control. And I think there's some echinacea down in there too. I think that's what is right over in there. This bed is my other herb bed, but I just wound up putting my spare onions in here. There's some kale that's about to seed. More onions. I just needed somewhere to stick onions, if you can't tell. Got some blueberries. Plum trees are loaded. Strawberry bed is looking good. We've actually harvested a few strawberries off of it. The garlic's gone crazy. The aquaponic strawberries are doing amazing, and actually Miss Margie sent us some more strawberries to fill in these empty slots, so hopefully they're coming to life already. Hopefully they'll be doing good pretty soon. Apple trees are loaded this year. Okay, I've got all kinds of mint. You see I've got a rogue head of garlic in this little bed. I've got this is skullcap. This is my patchouli plant, and this is my bergamot. And then Emily's got all kinds of flowers mixed in there, more mint. I've got chamomile and comfrey, and then right there is some yarrow. And more flowers mixed in. Then I've got a little valerian start, horehound, and mullein, or mullein. I keep saying mullein, I think it's mullein. All right, so that's all my herbs and some of our fruit that we've got going on. We've got peaches, more apples, plums, cherries, and I've actually got cherries on my tree for the first time. I'm so excited, over by the bees, and the bees are doing great. They've quit swarming for the moment, so that's good, but thankfully we did catch a lot of our swarms. So last thing I want to show you is this back garden. All right, so I'm just gonna give you all a broad overview, and then I'll show you some of the stuff specifically. But this has been such a blessing, not having to do all the weeding and stuff back here. It's been a lot more enjoyable. Now we've had trouble keeping it held down because we made the mistake of tilling it and putting the tarps right on top of it, and the stakes didn't hold in the loose ground. I think y'all saw Kevin and Sarah had some of the same issues. We had done the same thing. So that's what all the bricks are about, and we've still been out here in some of this stormy weather, pulling tarps back, feeding plants back through, putting more bricks on here right, you know, as soon as storms were over and stuff. So, but other than that, it's been wonderful. Lemon squash, my #1 hands down favorite type of squash. The little cucumber starts actually are surviving. I think they're going to be okay. Starting to come to life. They've got this beat up cattle panel here, but when they start climbing it, they're going to cover it, and you're not even going to see how bad that looks anyway. And hey, you just use what you got. Beautiful straight neck squash. These are golden zucchini, which I really, really love. We're trying some new varieties from Baker Creek. This is called a meadowlark. We've got some of those. They're really doing good. This is called a candy roaster. Ben was pretty excited about this one. We'll see how that goes. And just to be real with you, we got some holes that look like this. So I was out here the other day crawling around, poking more seeds in holes, hoping they'll come up through the holes. I don't know how that's gonna work, but we'll see. Amish pie pumpkins, honeydew melons, cantaloupe, several different varieties of Baker Creek watermelons, and several varieties of winter squash, like spaghetti squash. And finally, behind me, you can see I've got several rows of sweet potatoes going. They're doing good. Some of them are not gonna make it, but that's okay. If the majority of them do, we'll have tons of sweet potatoes. So I think that wraps up the whole garden, herbs, all that stuff. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm gonna take y'all along this summer. A lot of these things we've never tried before. So I'm gonna be telling y'all, did they work? Did we like them? Did they taste good? How did they store? All those types of things. So, and I've got tons of tomato varieties going. I mean, tons. So I will be sharing all that with y'all, and as things grow, showing you the harvest and all of that. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. God bless.